this week's episode, I begin my journey south. I try out some different sail combinations, and I encounter miserable weather in the Bay of Biscay. Alright, so it is Wednesday the 5th of October, and tomorrow on the 6th I'm hoping to depart St Mary's, which is where we are now, in the Isles of Scilly, hoping to depart there and head south, so somewhere warm is the plan. So we'll be sailing out into the Atlantic tomorrow. Final destination I'm not really sure on yet. A little apprehensive when I'm planning an offshore passage. I'm supposed to be departing 24 hours time, and to see the swell and the wind and the waves come in like this, just a very steady sort of 28 knots really. Yeah, it has me apprehensive, that's for sure. But I think this is the best weather window I'm gonna get. This area here has me a little worried if it comes too close in, but I'm hoping within that 4-day period, you know, right where we are right now is roughly about 480 miles, and I'm sort of working on the basis that, you know, that's 4 days worth of sailing for me at 5 knots. So you know, we should miss hopefully any of this weather out. Good morning. So just gearing up, and then about 15 minutes time, me and Safar are gonna head out into the Atlantic and head across the Bay of Biscay. So we are on our way. It's the Isles of Scilly in the background, and we're just beating out into the swell now. So it's a little bit on the bow, so it's a bit bumpy. But yeah, other than that, feeling pretty good. The Aries are steering a nice course. Yeah, we'll just see where we get to. I mean, we're giving it our best effort. That's all I can say right now, really. We are well and truly underway now. So we have one reef in the main, so we just reduced a little bit of sail area in the main because we have you know, sort of 18 knots apparent wind, and then yeah, full Yankee and staysail are out still. and we're just yeah, beating to windward, so heading basically towards the wind. To give you a quick update, we are just tracking along this TSS, the traffic separation scheme. So this is what ships use to travel in and out of the English Channel. So, you know, incoming ships this way and outgoing this way, and we're only allowed to cross it at a right angle, so that's what we're doing. And then ideally, once we get through it, we'll come to starboard a bit more and get on course. Well, that's the end of day one pretty much, or at least it's the end of the daylight anyway. Sun's just setting behind. I've not really made as much progress as I would like to do today. The direction I was hoping to, well, the direction I need to go in is sort of southwesterly, but that is the exact direction of the wind today. The forecast was that it was going to be coming around a bit more and becoming a westerly breeze, so I thought I'd be reaching, you know, have the wind on the beam all the way. Good morning. So that is the first night at sea done. They're always very long, so it's always good to get through the first one, especially being the English Channel, which is really busy with shipping and lots of fishing boats as well, so it's yeah, very difficult to get a lot of sleep, but I managed to get a few hours in between ships, which is good. And then I'll hopefully try and get a few more hours as well today or this morning, so I just don't become too exhausted. Good afternoon on day 2. So currently under full main and the usual set of head sails, Yankee and staysail. Conditions are, I suppose they're really good. There's a small amount of groundswell, but it's not that big now. It's really quite, yeah, quite small. The only problem is that we're just punching a bit of current at the moment, which is taking about a knot of boat speed off us. So we're currently travelling at 4 knots in nearly sort of 15 knots of wind on the nose. So we're beating our way still to the top of northern Spain. We're just hoping that each forecast module says that it's supposed to be coming westerly, but for the last day now it's just not happened. But yeah, we'll keep our fingers crossed. But I mean, the sailing's really nice and easy. I tried to have a little nap earlier and I just left the boat to it. Still, I'm just not finding it too easy to fall asleep, really. I find the idea of just letting the boat
go under its own will, quite strange. You know, it's like, I guess the best analogy for it would be, imagine if you had a motorhome and you were driving through a field with your caravan, and then you just put it in cruise control and went and made a coffee in the back and just let it keep driving. Like, you don't know what's ahead of you, so it's yeah, and it's the same with the boat. Like, even, you know, around me right now I have miles and miles of water, and you always end up bumping into someone. I mean, not literally, but there's always another boat crossing your path or in your way, or you're in theirs, or, yeah, with all this space, which is, yeah, it's crazy. All right, what else can we do for day 2? Perhaps let's take a little walk up forwards and see what's going on up there. I find that harness to be more of a pain in the ass than not having it. It's always getting caught on something, and it's always more of a trip hazard. But I promised my mum I'd wear it, so here you go, Mum. So one thing that has been at the forefront of my mind as I've been planning this trip is the recent stint of orca attacks on small boats like this one. And they've been happening everywhere, really, from the northern coast of Spain all the way down the Portuguese coast and the Gibraltar Strait, and that's the only area in the world, as far as I'm aware, where this has started happening. And it's a behaviour that's only been developed in the last sort of 2-3 years. Have these orcas started attacking boats, and they just purposefully smash the rudders off and then leave the boat to go about its business, you know, stranded with no steering. My plan is just to avoid them entirely. So at the moment I'm going to try stay well offshore along that stretch of coast, and, you know, the reports tend to be within, you know, 20 miles of the shoreline, so I'm hoping to be, you know, much further out than that. Be a beautiful evening. A bit cold though. You got the sunset on the starboard side, and we got the moonrise on the port side. And all this ocean. We got a ship just off our bow. And in fact, we've got a few coming this way. But the wind's supposed to keep coming around throughout the evening, so I'm hoping I can just gradually work my way across everyone. But you know, I mean, obviously I've been asking for that wind to come across the last 2 days, and it hasn't yet. So yeah, we'll just see where we get to. In the meantime, I'm listening to an audiobook on Trafalgar and drinking a nice tea and watching the sunset. Life's pretty good. Good morning. It is day 3 and the time is 8:32. I'm just making some oats and I've got a cup of tea here. I'm gonna have a bit of breakfast and then download the weather information for the day. It's a bit of a, not a rough night, but the sea conditions were a bit confused, so the swell was sort of coming from all the different angles, so the boat was bumping around a lot, and then the wind shifted as well. It did like a complete 180 yeah, overnight, so I've had to mess around with the sails and everything this morning to try and get us back on course. It was tough because I was having a nap, so it was midway through my I sleep for like small periods of time. If it's really quiet, I might try pinch an hour, or if it's a bit busy, I might steal 30 minutes. But yeah, I was having a nap, and then I woke up to, I guess it was a change of motion in the boat, and a squall had ended up coming down on us in the night, and the boat turned completely 90 degrees, you know, heading off, just following the wind angle, using the Aries, you know, because that just steers to whichever way the wind is blowing, essentially. So because the wind in the squall must have been from a different direction. But yeah, so the boat veered off course pretty sharply and started barreling down, but it was barreling down on towards an oncoming ship. You know, they must have been wondering what the hell was happening all of a sudden. You know, they're passing me at a nice angle and a good distance, and then I essentially just turn and head straight for them. But yeah, luckily obviously I woke up, got my foul weather kit on and everything, and got outside and yeah, steered the boat back onto sort of a better course, just to miss the ship. I mean, I say it wasn't that close. I mean, it was still a good mile away, you know, but you know, I'm just glad I woke up in time to do something about it before it got too close. So I've just got back inside from putting the third reef in the main. starting to get gusts up to 30 knots now, and the boat was trimmed quite well. You know, she didn't feel too overpressed, but I thought I'd better get that refit now. If it gets any stronger, the wind, you know, I really don't want to be going out on deck. So yeah, it's 3 reefs. We're still doing 7 knots right now, so we're flying along. Anyway, better fill this log in and then try catch some sleep. So this isn't the most fun I've had, but yeah, we're beating into just over 30 knots of wind in Biscay. Hoping we'll only have to do this for another hour or so, and then it should get better. But yeah, it's absolutely not fun right now, that's for damn sure. Good morning. It is day 5, see? Day 5? And I think we're almost officially out of the Bay of Biscay, which is good news, because let's be honest, it's been a bit of a shit fight. I mean, it could have been so much worse as well, but you know, we've just been beating pretty much our whole way across. But yeah, you can see on this chart here, so we departed from St. Mary's, and then, you know, there's a little bit of zigzagging, I guess, but not too much. We're able to beat the direction we wanted for the most part. Yesterday, obviously, got a bit of a kick in with sort of 4.6, 4.7 headwinds. Which is just not pleasant at all. So I didn't really do too much filming yesterday. I just wasn't having the best time myself. And then yeah, today we have, what are we working with? About 20 knots coming from the northeast, which is directly astern. And so we're just trying out some sail combinations at the moment. So triple reef main and slightly reefed but hold out Yankee. Pretty happy with the Yankee. Hold out like that, yeah, it looks good. The main, I'm not sure about. We're rolling quite heavy. I'm wondering if I jibe the main over, would it work better, or do I just get rid of the main completely and I could try put up the staysail and pull that out, which I think might be a more stable but potentially a bit slower. But yeah, we're just enjoying it now. This is much better. It's not quite the Spanish weather that I was hoping for. I thought I'd be out here with my shorts on and my t-shirt on, topping up my tan real nice. But yeah, it wasn't to be. Instead, I got to get my money's worth out of my trusty Henry Lloyd's. Good weather to be a duck, as my granny would say. next episode, I continue my press south. I undertake some repairs. I see a beautiful sunset, and I arrive in Portugal. If you've enjoyed part 1, then make sure you like and subscribe, and you'll get notified when I release part 2 later in the week.